Okay, so 90-90 and foot raising. So this is a really great way, particularly if you've got really mobile hips, to improve the strength through the rotation range. The problem with a lot of our exercises for the hips is they don't really kind of involve actively moving the hip through rotation. So this position is a nice, easy one to work on that does kind of address those elements of it. So basically I sit in this position, if I show you down there, that's a nice straight line, and then my knee's off at a 45-degree angle, and my other hip is 90 degrees relative to that leg, and then the knee's 90 degrees to that. So that's the basic position, and I end up sort of looking down on my 2 feet and 1 knee. On the front leg, what I want to be able to do is lift the foot up without lifting the knee up. And I want to do that in a way where I get it from the hip rather than all from the ankle. So I don't want to turn the sole of the foot too much as I come up. I want to keep my body nice and still and just isolate that movement up to the hip. If that's a bit hard, 2 options. 1 is to stick a block underneath the knee. That will make it easier to get things up. 2 is to go down a little on your side. So I can go down onto my elbow, try them there. If it's still not happening, I can lie right down onto my side. And between lying on your side and blocking under your knee, pretty much everyone's going to be able to get that movement going. And then it's just a question of progressing back up into the more difficult positions, trying to keep that movement going. So that's front leg lifting, and then we've got back leg lifting. So on the back leg, what we want to be able to do is to rotate the hip like this. In this position, a lot of people will have a big range of motion, but only a small amount of movement. And that empty bit is essentially the risky bit where our hips can get hurt and sore. And so we can make them feel safer by closing the gap between what we can do passively and what we can do actively. You'll never get it to go as high on by lifting it as you can by pulling it with your arm, but the closer those 2 points are together, the healthier that hip joint is. Elbow blocks, so we can tighten up that movement by putting the elbow in the front of the hip and planting the hand on the ground. That way I can really control, monitor and limit how much forward roll of the body is, because that will be the temptation. If this movement is weak, we'll find ourselves turning this way to kind of pass tension from the back into the leg, allow it to happen, but we want to be able to generate that rotation there. So we've got front leg raise, back leg raise. You can do a few knee raises along that line as a little break-up exercise, just a nice way to kind of really feel local activation in the glute. But we're really here for external rotation of the front leg, internal rotation of the back leg. When we've done it one side, we flip round and we look at those same movements again on the other side. And the best way to think about this is train the deficits, don't chase the symptoms. So just look for what's weak and practice that rather than worrying about what's on the sore leg versus the good leg.